Hi everybody, Marco Carvalho here from businesscreditblogger.com. Today's blog post, we're going to talk about business credit reporting agencies. In particular, we're going to list 15 business credit reporting agencies that you should know about. By the end of this presentation, you're going to know about all these different types of business agencies that are out there. And most importantly, we're going to share with you how do you create a business credit identity for your company. So when banks, lenders, suppliers, and vendors check to see if you have a business credit report with these agencies, your company's listed. So let's get started. First and foremost, what is a business credit reporting agency? Business credit reporting agencies are in the business of collecting data. They collect data through various sources, which we'll get into in a minute, and they contain these warehouses of information, and they compile it into what we know today as a business credit report. This is very similar to how consumer credit reporting agencies operate. As you know, you have a personal credit report. So consumer credit agencies have data on you personally, on you manage your finances, and they sell that data. Same thing with business credit agencies, but they focus on businesses. The data they gather is they sell this information to other businesses, other vendors, suppliers, and banks. So with all that data that they compile, each of these business credit reporting agencies create business credit reports. They create special risk management tools, assessment tools, business credit ratings, business credit scores, etc. What's important for you as a business owner to realize is that banks, businesses, lenders, vendors, suppliers, retailers, leasing companies, or anybody who's looking to do business with you, and insurance companies, they share data with business credit reporting agencies that they subscribe to. That's the key, because not every bank or lender or supplier subscribes to every agency that's out there. They subscribe to this particular agency and they share that data. More importantly, that's where they also pull their data from. That's where they pull a business credit report from. So not only do these list of vendors and suppliers and banks that subscribe to these agencies, not only do they share their payment data, their experience with other businesses, etc., but they also request data via business credit report or score from that particular agency they subscribe to, so they can do a risk assessment on a business if they're looking to extend credit or a line of credit to a business. So just so you understand that that's how the business credit reporting companies operate. Now, if you look at the bottom here, we have businesscreditbuilders.org/business-credit. That'll take you to our website where we actually have an actual step-by-step business credit building system that shows you how to create your business credit identity and how to get listed with the business credit reporting agencies. So how do business credit reporting agencies collect data? How do they get information about you as a business? And how do you even know if you have a credit file as a business? Well, in our system, we show you how to monitor and check and see if you actually have a listing with some of the agencies we're going to talk about, and we'll get into that in a minute. Now, how the information is gathered, though, is all these different methods. There's self-reported data. This is one of the most important things because in our system, and this is why it's important for you as a business owner, before you start submitting applications for credit as a business, you want to make sure that all the information about your business is accurate, that you have the information that you want to be reported on your business accurate. And that shows that you're a legitimate operating business. Because what's going to happen is, let's suppose you submit a credit application and you provide a free Gmail account, or you don't have your website set up yet, or you don't even have a business bank account set up. Or let's just say your address that you put on there is a temporary address. It's not going to be your actual business address. See, this is all information that whatever you furnish on that application gets submitted to an agency if that particular creditor subscribes to that agency. So that data gets supported and gets populated, and that's what creates information about your company. So that's what we call self-reported data. When you're the one providing information on credit applications, or you're applying for your DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet and you're supplying information about your business, that's self-reported data. Trade reporters. What are trade reporters? This is data that where suppliers that subscribe to a business credit agency, they share data. They share their payment data with that agency and subscribe to them. So that's where they're getting payment information from. So when you as a business owner have a relationship with, let's say, a supplier, and let's say you have net 60-day terms or net 90-day terms, and that supplier shares payment data. They report to a business credit reporting agency. What's important for you to know, which agency do they report to, number one, so you know if the payments being reported are accurate, and that you also want to see what type of credit file your company has. So some suppliers, the majority of vendors and suppliers will report to Dun & Bradstreet. Okay, so that's what trade reporters are. Now, business public records, this is public information. That's where they also retrieve data, UCC filings, business registrations from state, city, county courts, incorporation filings, federal government, web mining, media, and directory. So these are all the different sources that business credit reporting agencies use to collect data on your business, on other businesses. Now, there are some major business credit companies out there, and you've probably heard me talk about it quite a bit. There's Dun & Bradstreet, there's Equifax Small Business, and Accurint Commercial. Those are the three major players. So kind of look at those three players as, on the personal side, you have Equifax, TransUnion, and Accurint. So on the business side, there's three big players, but that doesn't mean they're the only players. There's 15 we're going to talk about today that are very important that you need to know about, because they also serve specific industries as well. And there's many banks, leasing companies, and lenders that use those agencies to do credit risk assessment outside of these three major ones. So let's talk about first the three top ones. There's Dun & Bradstreet. That's a major agency, 32 million businesses in the U.S. and 225 million in their database. You'll know that that's a DUNS number. We talk about that in our system. Each company that's listed in their database is assigned a DUNS number. That's kind of like relevant to your social security number. When a business wants to pull your D&B report, they want to know what your DUNS number is. So that's a very important agency to get listed with and build up a file, because if you're looking to apply for like retail-based credit for the business, or vendor credit, supplier-based credit, or even leasing, that's a major agency that many of those types of providers pull from. Now that you have Equifax Small Business, that's another major agency. Obviously, there's Equifax Consumer Division, and this is the commercial division. They have credit evaluations over 22 million small businesses and corporations. Who reports to Equifax Small Business? That's a lot of banks report, like when you're doing business loans, etc. So that's an important agency to get listed with. Then you have Accurint Commercial. This is a third major player. They maintain credit information on approximately 25 million active businesses. Now, Accurint Commercial is widely used with business credit card issuers. So that's a very important database that you want to have an established business credit report. So in our business credit building system, we show you how to build up to 10 reporting lines on all three of these major agencies. Okay, because remember, it's important. If you go to apply for credit with a particular vendor or a supplier or a bank that pulls from an agency that you don't have a credit file listed with, then to them, there's no way for them to assess the credit risk level of your business. So what do they resort to? They have to resort to a personal credit check. They have to check the credit worthiness of the owner or the guarantor. They may require financials, etc. So that's why it's important to have a credit file as a business. It allows banks and lenders, etc., to assess the credit worthiness of your business rather than simply relying on your personal credit alone. Now, personal credit checks are widely used among many lenders and banks in addition to a business credit check. So I just want to make sure you're aware of that as well. Now that you know the three major ones, let's talk about the other 12 business credit reporting agencies that you should know about. One is called Ansonia. Ansonia has been around since 2006. They're very well popular for construction credit reports. So if you're in the construction industry or a builder, this is a business credit reporting agency that's widely used in that particular industry. They receive their information from mom and pop operations, Fortune 500 companies. They have a database of over 25 million account activities, 700 billion in trade accounts receivable data. So when most people say, well, DB is the only agency that deals with suppliers and vendors, that's not true. These other agencies have major data being supplied to them from trade reporters. That's suppliers, vendors, other businesses that are extending credit to other businesses. So they cover over 140 industries. So this is another major agency you should know about. And you can check their website out if you want additional information. Another one, there's Cortera. Cortera Credit Exchange is Cortera's database, they started over 20 years ago, and they specialized in the transportation industry back then. Now they capture business-to-business transactions. Over 10 million businesses and 1.3 trillion in annual spending is captured in their database. Now, some of the major companies you may be familiar with that use Cortera is Xerox, Comdata, Ryder, Electrolux, H&E Equipment, Interstate, Jacobus Energy, and LG Electronics USA. They use Cortera for the credit and credit decision-making processes. So these are just examples of some of the major companies that use Cortera. So remember, when people say, and you read about that, only people pull from DMB, and they only pull from the three major ones. That's not true. There's 15, even more. There's actually 30 business credit agencies nationwide, but we're talking about the 15 big players here on this particular video. Now, there's Credit.net. Credit.net has been around for over 45 years. That's a long time doing business credit reporting. They have 15.5 million U.S. and Canadian businesses, and they also specialize in privately owned and hard-to-find companies. Another business credit agency that's popular. And then you may have heard of Creditsafe. Creditsafe is a business credit reporting agency that has 240 million businesses worldwide. You'll see in our business credit building system, we talk about some of the suppliers that report to Creditsafe. One being Strategic, they report to Creditsafe. That's one way to create a Creditsafe file. But also other major companies that use Creditsafe for business credit reporting and retrieving business credit reports is Volvo, Hitachi, BMW, Viacom, Panasonic, Nestle, and Network Rail. They use Creditsafe. Now, another major, I'd like to say it's a score, but also it's a report, is the FICO. I'm sure you heard of the FICO score, but now do you know that Fair Isaac is obviously creating a score for businesses? It's a FICO Small Business Scoring Service, SBSS. Now, this was launched in 1993. The SBA uses the FICO score doing with one of their risk assessment tools. Not the SBA themselves, but SBA preferred lenders do. The score itself is combines both personal and business credit history. So this is a score that FICO created for a business, but what they're using is not just your business data. They're actually retrieving your personal credit data of the owner, and they're creating a score based on those two reports. They're combining reports. So anytime you hear someone saying, well, just build your business credit, don't worry about personal credit, or your personal credit's not important, your personal credit does play a role with certain types of business credit reporting agencies. It does play a role with certain types of funding products. So I always encourage people, it's important to maximize your credit potential overall as an individual and as a business. Why wouldn't you want to have a very strong personal credit? Because it allows you on the personal side to get great financing for your own personal needs, like a mortgage or an auto loan or student loans or personal credit cards, etc. But it also trickles down into your business and helps your business also leverage that as well. So if there's a particular lender that wants to check your personal credit and check your business credit, you have both of those areas covered. Now, I also want you to realize that many people who talk about the no PG, there are many types of funding products you can get with no PG, but remember, when you have lots of revenues as a business can stand on its own, it has a very strong credit file. Banks will still want to check the credit worthiness of the owner. They'll still do a personal credit check, even though they may not require a personal guarantor. So that's where I was saying your personal credit always plays an important role in all facets of personal and business. So now the FICO SBSS score, it's used by over 75 lenders nationwide to help them make credit decisions. So build up your business credit file, but also if you have bad personal credit, work to start rehabilitating your personal credit. Work on improving it because it's only going to help you in the long run. So major banks that use this type of score is KeyBank, Huntington National Bank, PNC, RBC, US Bank, Zions Bank, HSBC, and Santander Bank. So this is a very popular score used by these banks for businesses. Now, the Global Credit Services is another business credit reporting agency. They've been around for over 18 years. They provide a wide variety of reports, such as trade insight reports that's specifically tailored for trade data. That's when we talk about trade data, we're talking about like suppliers, net 30, net 60-day accounts, etc. For example, they have a payment portfolio and payment score report that integrates trade data contributors of 20 million scored U.S. and Canadian companies. And they use that to generate a payment ratings and trends report. So this is another major agency you should be aware of. LexisNexis Accurint. They have an actual score called the Small Business Risk Score. Now, 400,000 public and private organizations use LexisNexis. It's hard to say that. LexisNexis Accurint. The Small Business Risk Score is a simple 3-digit number. And what they do is they use the public footprint of the business, but they also combine that with the business owners as well as anyone associated with the business. And they come up with a risk score. Now, some companies that use LexisNexis Accurint, their small business risk score is Commerce Bank and Trust Company, Hyundai Capital America, Fidelity National Corporation, and over 1,400 other companies use LexisNexis Accurint for business credit checks. So, keep in mind, this is very important for you to know as a business owner that these other business credit reporting agencies are compiling data on your business. Now, and keep in mind, in our blog post, we do write on how to find out if you're listed with these agencies, how to pull your credit report from these agencies. Many of them offer it absolutely free for you as well. Lumbermen Credit Reporting Group. This agency has been around since 1915, providing business credit reporting information. They specialize in providing credit construction reports and mercantile commercial credit reports. It's important to note that each of their reports, they do also provide credit reports of the guarantor. So when a particular lender or someone wants to extend credit, pulls from a Lumbermen report, they're going to get the combination. So you'll see there's a little trend here with some of the agencies where they're combining the personal credit data of an owner along with the business credit data and creating like a score based on those two factors. Okay, so that does happen. So I just want to make sure you're aware. That's why I think it's important that you also pay attention to your personal credit. National Association of Credit Management, also known as NACM. This is a really unique business credit reporting agency. I kind of look at it like as a sharing agency where basically it's 15,000 businesses nationwide go there. And what they do is they subscribe, they become members of NACM. And they provide what's called a National Trade Credit Report. So they provide users of their system trade lines that are derived from other NACM members across 1,000 industry credit groups. So what that means is all the businesses and banks and suppliers and lenders that are members of NACM, they all share their payment data, that the experiences that they're having with other businesses. And then, therefore, other NACM members or businesses can check and see the payment data, the business credit reports of other companies. Okay, so the information supplied by trade reporters, which are members of NACM, becomes a part of a company's business credit file and can be reviewed by other NACM members. So it's kind of like a credit network where businesses are sharing payment data and businesses can look at that payment data to decide if they want to extend credit to other businesses. Okay, so that's a really unique business credit reporting agency that you should know about. PayNet, I'm sure you've probably heard of this particular agency. Been around since 1999, 22 million contracts, over 1.2 trillion in loans and leases report to this agency, or they have in this agency. They provide mainly to banks and commercial finance institutions. Seafax. This is a unique special credit reporting agency business credit reporting agency because they're the main reporter for the food industry in the U.S. So it's important to realize that specific industries actually have business credit reporting agencies that specialize in their industry, and this is one of them. The business credit reports they provide include a Seafax credit appraisal, risk index, etc. And so if you're in the food industry, this is a business credit reporting agency that you want to be aware of. Tarnell, this is another specialized business credit reporting agency because they've been working in the industrial material and equipment suppliers. It's mainly the plastics industry. So they've been around for 70 years. They provide, currently they monitor over 12,000 resin buyers. That's plastics. So this is a plastic specialized business credit reporting agency. So these are all the agencies that I want to make sure that you're aware of as a business owner because There may be times when if you don't know if you're listed with a business credit reporting agency, or that's why it's important when you apply for credit with a particular lender or bank or vendor, inquire, who do they report to? Do they report and share payment data? And before you apply, you can ask them, which business credit agencies do you pull my credit from? Okay, so remember, your business credit report is going to play a role in your company's ability to acquire credit and funding. So it's important for you to start building a credit identity for your business, because if you don't have a credit identity for your business, how can a bank or a lender, supplier, retailer, leasing company, how can they check to see that your business is credit worthy? If they can't, then they're going to rely on your personal credit. They're going to rely on the business owner or a guarantor to secure that line of credit or to secure that loan, etc. So that's why building a credit file for your business is so important. It allows you to maximize your funding potential. It allows you to separate your finances from your personal and your business. So be sure to check out businesscreditbuilders.org/business-credit if you're looking for a step-by-step business credit building system. If you found this information really informative, click a thumbs up here on the video. Make sure you click the subscribe button, because we're always putting out valuable videos like this on business credit, how to maximize your funding potential as an individual, business owner, or real estate investor. With that, check us out on our blog as well, businesscreditblogger.com. With that, make it a great day. We'll talk to you real soon.